Welcome to Dkd True Talk show where dreams do come true. Hello, everyone. I would like to thank my listening viewers, TV 33 WHPR, RJ Watkins, Miss Willis, and so many more people for believing in my dream that is now reality. Yes, you are looking at Black history being made today. This is your girl, Lady D, and today is the premiere show of the Dkd True Talk show, and I can't be more excited about this moment and this opportunity. So look forward to some great shows, some people who you may see frequently in the community, but not necessarily on your airwaves. And I'm excited to be able to have this opportunity and this platform to reach the community and allowing them to be able to share their stories. So just to tell you a little bit about who I am, you're looking at a woman who is fabulous, who is passionate about serving her people, who loves her people, who love to see people elevated and motivated. Yes, that's me. And that's what this show is all about. It's about inspiring, motivating, and encouraging the average person. Individuals, we all go through all the time, and this would be a platform and an outlet where you can hear stories of people who have become resilient, which is going to take you to my show, which is about resilience. A powerful story will be shared by my guest, my special guest, Tanya Hawkins, who will be joining me via phone. And you know, the weather, we have nothing that we can do about Mother Nature, right? I mean, it happens. So we have this stormy weather day here in the Motor City. And if you live in Detroit and you're raised from Detroit, you already know snow happens. And so snow happened today, but it didn't stop not one thing as it relates to the Dkd True Talk show. So I had two special guests that were going to be joining me today, but due to weather, they're not able to make it here, but that's okay. I'll soon have Brianna Jordan, who is going to be joining me, a young sister, a young, powerful sister who has overcome a domestic violence relationship. She's 25, was married, recently divorced, but a powerful single mom who is just phenomenal when it comes to resilience. You're talking about somebody that bounced back and has bounced back and just continues to elevate in her future. I'm so very proud of her. She couldn't make it today, but that's okay. I will have her on in a future show because she does have a story to tell. I do have my special guest, Tanya Hawkins, who will also be sharing her story of a murder-suicide of a daughter. I want you guys, when she begins to share her story, to really listen in. On her story, she shares details so that you can really feel what a mother's pain is losing a daughter who went through a lot. And yet, we all know that when individuals are going through situations of domestic violence, they don't always tell, they don't always share, they hide a lot, or they feel like they can help that individual. Well, you're going to hear from Ms. Hawkins, who is going to share her daughter's story, who is no longer with us, but she lives through her mom. If you know Tanya, she talks about her daughter often. I don't believe there's a day, most definitely I know there's not a day that she doesn't go about talking and saying something inspiring about her daughter. She has her sad moments, but yet somehow she pulls when she's talking, and you will feel it in a moment. Somehow she's able to pull out the joy in those moments, meaning being able to refer back. But the key thing that I want you guys to hone in on is the resilience. How she has been able to overcome the tragedy of losing a daughter, especially through murder-suicide. Her bounce back, how she's still able to have joy in her life and still live with a purpose and for purpose and on purpose. So I'm excited about having you, Tanya. I do want to welcome you via phone. Welcome, Tanya, to Dkd True Talk. You want to say hello to the viewers?
Thank you so much. Hello, Detroit. I'm so proud of you, so proud of your tenacity for not even giving up on today. But I was trying to get there, sister. But I'm here. I'm here on the phone, so we gonna talk about this.
I understand. Now, can you refer back, or do you remember in my den probably about a year ago when
Yes.
I finally kicked off my dream via Facebook, thanks to
Right.
encouraging friends, and I had you guys on, and we reached over thousands of viewers at that time when you shared
Mhm.
your story. And as a result of that, you guys touched so many people. They reached out to you, they called back,
Mhm.
and reached out through Facebook. We had a walk beyond that, and it was just
Mhm.
phenomenal, right? And now look at our platform, Tanya. How you like us now,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So I'm just ecstatic. And when I was doing my planning for my first show, I reflected and referred back and thought about the show that Brianna and you were on, and how
Mhm.
powerful it was among many of our shows that I had when I was doing Dkd True Talk on Facebook Live. Um,
Mhm.
but this, I mean, where we are in society now, domestic violence is often just talked about during the month of October. Well, we know
Right.
domestic violence is more than just October, right? It is happening every day. Every second, somebody is being abused. Um,
Right.
and so I thought it was important to be able to let someone, or let my viewers, hear your story. But again, as we spoke about earlier in the week, and
Mhm.
even as late as yesterday, I want to emphasize the resilience, Tanya. There are people out here in our community that have gone through situations, not just domestic violence, but a lot of
Mhm.
situations, and they don't understand the tenacity that they have to be able to bounce back, right?
Right.
Every day you wake up, God is giving you life and purpose, right? To live
Right.
out whatever that purpose may be. He gives you breath, right? To be able to
Yes.
speak and breathe, and eyes and ears. He gives you life. You can't beat
Right.
life. And so that's what I want people to pull away from your story. Yes, I want them to hear about the murder suicide and that situation and really feel your pain, but I want them to hear more about your resilience, Tanya, because I know for a fact you are a phenomenal woman who has truly
Thank
bounced
you.
back even through your struggles. When I have read your statuses
Mhm.
on Facebook, I feel your pain. But I
Yes.
do believe that you are encouraged not only with your faith and with God pulling you through, but through
Yes.
all the people that post and encourage you. No matter, I mean, and you've been going through this for a long time, and so you
Mhm.
still post on a regular about your daughter,
Right.
and you still get an outpouring of love and support.
Right.
You can't beat that, and I think that probably, if you would not agree, adds to how you're such a resilient mom and
Oh
woman.
yeah.
So
All the
we
prayers. I mean, my daughter was murdered April 13th, 2016. So this year will be 2 years.
Wow.
Um, the outpour of love has not stopped. You know, when people say once the funeral is over, the phone call stops, the visiting stops, the checking on you stops. That hasn't stopped for me, especially with such a strong support group. And I also have such wonderful, wonderful friends and families that call maybe every other day or not every day. You know what I'm saying? And God Himself is amazing. We always talk about God is so amazing and God is this and God is that, but we never know God until you in a position where you have nothing or nobody else to lean on but Him.
That's
Because
right.
my thing was, after losing a daughter, and she was 24 years old, and she wasn't married and didn't have children, I felt robbed of that. Like, I'll never see her, walk down the aisle. I'll never be the mother of the bride to her. I'll never be the grandmother to her grandchildren because she was robbed of that. So it took me a minute to just like breathe through that. But I
Right.
do go to group therapy. And so at group therapy, I learned that I wasn't the only mother that then lost a child to murder. That even gives me strength. But
Yes.
the thing is that I want to tell the viewers and listeners that if you're in a domestic violence relationship, you shouldn't put up with that. even if you're a man, you're a woman, and it's so sad because of a lot of teenagers are really going through a domestic
Yes, yes.
relationship. You know, these little boys telling you, if you don't do this, you don't do that. I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna do that to you. It's not that serious because the pain comes when a mother loses her child, and your family has to endure this for the rest of our life, like literally for the rest of our life. It's days that I can't even hardly get out the bed, but I'd be like, Lord, please help me because I still have to go to work. I still got bills that's coming in. I can't call DT and say, oh, well, my daughter was murdered. I can't go to work.
Absolutely.
And you're going to have to put those bills on hold.
Absolutely.
No, but the strength of God truly gets me through.
It's the God in you. God lives in you.
Through.
Yes.
But I'm begging these viewers, I'm begging these listeners, if you in a relationship where he or she is mistreating you, get out. But then some say, okay, but it's still women getting out, but they still getting murdered. Right, because you don't know the whole story, and you might not even know the whole story. The police is there for you. You can get a PPO. You can now get a gun to protect yourself from these people who want to harm you.
Yes.
I'm not saying go kill somebody, but hey, you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your life because if they put you in harm's way, what else can you do? But my thing to you all is please don't endure this pain on your family because not only do I have to try to lift myself up, I have to still try to lift my kids up because I have 3 surviving children who every day can't figure out why they sister.
Right.
I still have my oldest daughter who fights depression every single day because they were so close. Like, that was a sister she could call and tell any and everything to. And that was her little sister, but that still was her friend. Right. And her confidant and somebody she could lean on. So that pain just don't hurt with the mother. It just don't hurt with the father, the grandparents. It hurts with every single body that's connected to you.
And you know, we're gonna have to go to a short break, Tanya. And I want you to stay on the line, and I want you to be able to, because I want the viewers and the listeners to actually hear the moments. If you're up to it, I know it's a touchy matter, and I know you're at work, but I want them to feel what you went through as a mom the moment you found out that your daughter was murdered.
Okay.
Because we talked about you already shared some of how you've been able to overcome and be resilient, but I want them to hear what happened prior to that. Your resilience just didn't happen, just didn't happen. But what happened prior to that? So we're going to go to a short break. Listeners, viewers, you stay tuned to Dkd True Talk talk show with your girl, your host, Lady D. She's coming right back. Dkd True Talk show. We're back. And again, thank you. Thank you for those who are just tuning in to the Dkd True Talk show with your girl, your host, Lady D. We're back and we're talking about resilience today. Because why? You are resilient people. And sometimes you have to be reminded of how resilient, how powerful of a people you are. You're looking at Black History today. Black History being made. Your girl, Lady D. Yep, she just made Black History. My dream just became reality today, and I can't be more excited, grateful, and thankful to all who have been a part of this dream and for that one who really made my dream a reality. I'm just grateful and ecstatic for your support, and I ask your continued support. So we're going to move on into our show. My special guest today is Tanya Hawkins. For those of you who are just joining in, I had another special guest, Brianna Jordan, a young divorced single, phenomenal mom, woman, niece, who was unable to join us today because, as Mother Nature would have it, it snowed, but it doesn't stop anything. It will never stop the DKD True Talk show. So you never have to ask, not Miss Jones. Lady D, is the talk show gonna go on because it's snowing? Absolutely not. The DKD True Talk talk show will be tuning in every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And I look forward to more impactful, empowering, and inspiring shows to come. So, Tanya, I have Tanya Hawkins, again, another phenomenal woman who is sharing her story regarding her daughter who had a murder-suicide situation. She has already shared some great information. She has talked about her resilience since she's gone through this as a mom. She has shared a little bit about what has impacted her children and affected her children and her family. But she has really emphasized the support. You don't know how important it is to have support from people. There are a lot of lonely people in this world. And a smile, a post, because I spoke about how Tanya puts on Facebook, her daughter was murdered back in 2016. In 2018, I don't think it's been, I know for a fact it's not been a week unless she takes, sometimes she takes a fast from Facebook and she's not on. But other than that, she is posting something about her daughter, a picture, a moment, a story about her baby. And the outpouring of support that she gets is continuous 2 or 3 years later. So again, thank you, Tanya. I heard you was looking cute, girl. But you couldn't make it today. You are cute. But you cute on the phone. Your voice is still cute. But I do understand. I'm just grateful and thankful that you could join me via the phone and share with my listening viewers about the things, your story, your chapter, this particular chapter of your life. And, you know, I titled this show for you and Brianna, The Resilience, because that's what's key and that's what's important. Although we go through our stormy moments, everybody has a storm, everybody goes through something, but it's how you bounce back from it that makes the difference. Every day you have purpose and you have life. You're able to bounce back from a situation that you may be going through or have gone through. So, Tanya, if you could please share with the viewers now, take us back to that moment, the day or the days that led up to. Let me ask you, did you know that your daughter was in a domestic violence situation?
No. Nope, she didn't tell us.
So how wouldn't you know? I mean, there was no signs. I mean, often people, you know, and it's maybe a myth. People think, you know, oh, you see abuse on the person, or they automatically think if they, you know, if they're walking around, well, the only sign of abuse is through physical, you know, the marks and things like that. So your daughter never showed signs of black eyes or bruises or, you know, choke marks, anything like that?
No, nothing that we could see, you know, with the naked eye. And see, he had moved her all the way to Taylor. So we would only see her on the weekends.
Okay.
So when she would come, you know, on the weekends, she would stay for a while, but then we noticed her visits had started getting short. Like, she wouldn't stay long. She was like, well, I got to go wash and I got to go do this. But to me, it was like, I understand, because now at this point, she's working at General Motors.
Okay.
So she's working like 6 days a week. And so I would be like, oh, okay, well, just glad you came to see us. And the day that led up to this, I had saw her that Sunday. And you know, we had just all came back from the water park, me and my oldest daughter, my mother, and the grandbabies. And she had my car, so she was bringing my car back that Sunday. And my oldest daughter was trying to get her to go shopping with her. She's like, no, I'm not going. But she ended up going anyway.
Okay.
So that was the last time I saw her, was that Sunday. So we talked on Monday. We talked on Tuesday. That Wednesday, I didn't hear from her. And every morning I text my children, good morning, baby. Have a wonderful, blessed day. She's always the first one to text back. I don't care if I text her at 6 in the morning. She go text right back. Good morning, Mom. Love you, too. And so Wednesday morning, Wednesday morning she didn't text back. So that afternoon I text her again, and she didn't respond. So I'm saying, okay, well, she's working these 12 hours. She probably was tired this morning, didn't text back. And then by this afternoon, okay, yeah, she's at work, but she had texted me on her break.
Okay.
End up going to Bible study, text her a Bible study, still didn't get a response. Came home, took my shower, went to bed. I woke up Thursday morning about 12:15, and I jumped up and I called her. No answer. I text her with a whole bunch of eyes, hi.
Right. Okay.
And so no response. I said, okay, she's asleep. She's been working 12 hours. She'll text me tomorrow.
Okay. Tanya,
Oh,
let's
go ahead.
speed it up a little bit.
Okay.
And
So,
the reason
we
only
ended
before
up,
sake
I
of
never
time.
heard from her. Ended up going out to her apartment complex. That's when the manager went in and told me that they were both unresponsive, and that's when we found out that he had murdered her and murdered himself.
So Tanya.
Shot her in the head. He shot her in the head 3 times because she was getting ready to leave. He was dealing with psychiatric issues and didn't want to get help.
Oh, okay. So did we know, or did you know that he had mental
No.
health issues? Do you know if your daughter was
Nobody
aware?
knew. We found out after her funeral. One of her friends called my oldest daughter and said, your sister said if anything was to ever happen to her, to call you. This is how we found out, because we just knew that she was planning on moving, because they were going to be friends, but the relationship is not working, but we're going to continue to be friends. And so the truth all came out after her funeral. We got a phone call 2 days later after the funeral, and that's how we found out everything.
Wow. Not until the funeral did you find out that this young man was dealing with mental health issues.
Yes.
My
And
goodness.
His mother knew.
Because I only have like 2 minutes left, believe it or not, Tanya, we definitely have to have a part 2 to this show, because
yes.
the viewers have
We
not.
got to save some lives.
Absolutely. We have to save some lives, and they not even heard. I remember the moment you said you walked up to the apartment, or you got the call and you walked up and you didn't know what to expect because you were at work and you were dealing with your normal life. So we definitely have to have a part 2, because it is 1 minute to countdown. And I just want to listen.
So proud of you, sister.
I thank you so much, so much for
I will
joining
be
me,
there the
Tanya.
next time.
Yes, you will, because we are going to have a part 2 where Tanya Hawkins is sharing her story, her chapter about resilience of the murder-suicide of her daughter. I thank you guys for tuning in to the Dkd True Talk show, sitting in and being a part of my dream, and the history, the black history in the making, has been made with me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will have a number for you to call for future, if you have tips or ideas for future shows. You can also reach me via email at dkdtruetalk@yahoo.com. Again, that's dkdtruetalk@yahoo.com. Thank you again for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys again on next Wednesday at 12 o'clock. This is your DKD True Talk show. Tuning out. Take care.